So, Sal, Adam Ottavino struggled in his outing for the second time this week. Did have a couple of good outings as well. Not super consistent, but who do you feel like you can rely on to bridge the gap between the starters and Edwin Diaz?
Not Adam Ottavino or Trevor May. I mean, I think right now, outside of Edwin Diaz, as you said, to get from the starters to Edwin Diaz, I don't really trust many guys in the back end of that pen. Even a guy like Drew Smith, JJ, who would be the obvious guy that you would want to, trust right now. He's got to prove it. I mean, this is only a month into the season, so I'm talking about the high expectations that this Mets team has this year going to the postseason and deep into the postseason. You're going to need big timeouts. Is Drew Smith that guy? He's the only one on the roster. So for me, it would be somebody that the Mets acquire at the trade deadline. That's the guy that I trust to bridge from the starters to Edwin Diaz ultimately. They need an arm or two, and that was known coming in. But because of Trevor May, because of Ottavino, I think it's a definite the Mets have to upgrade that bullpen at the deadline. That's who I would trust.
Listen, it's pretty obvious. The Mets are off to a tremendous start. The bullpen is hands down now the biggest weakness and the biggest question for this team. And I'm right there with you. They will be a major player in June and July for whoever that hot reliever of the month might be. I don't know who it is yet. We're going to figure that out as the weeks and the months go along. For the time being, though, you're looking at certain guys to step up, and I don't trust Ottavino. I don't want to hear the excuses about 3 days in a row. I saw it with the Yankees. I saw it with the Red Sox. This guy can't get big outs in big situations. So who is going to step up? Seth Lugo is a guy who has done it. He hasn't been the same guy. Lugo is somebody I still have somewhat confidence in. Compared to the other guys in this bullpen, I still kind of believe in him. Intrigued by Smith, but Shreve is the guy I want to see in more high-leverage situations. Anytime I see him in a game, he pitches well. More chasing Shreve.
And Sal, you mentioned Trevor May. On Wednesday, got the news that May will not be factoring in much now over the next 2 to 3 months with a stress reaction. Who do you think needs to step in to fill his role?
Yeah, I mean, we just mentioned the two guys with Drew Smith and Seth Lugo. Those are the main two. I thought if all went well for May, and look, with bullpens, they're so fickle year to year, they signed May to be an impact arm in the back end of that pen. He was supposed to be the eighth-inning guy. He was not last year. He stunk last year. I don't know what the excuse was exactly last year. This year, he's going to say it's the injury, fine. But they need somebody to fill that role. The only two guys right now on the roster, JJ, have to be Drew Smith or Seth Lugo. I think you know what you're getting from Lugo. Drew Smith could be an X factor because if he can keep this going, he can be a weapon for him.
And that's the one thing with these bullpens. Guys come out of nowhere and have success. Maybe Drew Smith, a little lightning in a bottle. The Mets need answers, though. Their starting pitching has been so good. Bullpen's going to cost them games.